This Choircast podcast is brought to you by Snarky Faith. Snarky Faith is a place where we dive headfirst in the tumultuous crossroad of life, culture, and politics in Christendom today. Fed up with the insanity in Christianity? Well, you'll feel right at home here. I'm Stuart Deloney, and Snarky Faith is more than just a critique. Join me as we wrestle, question, and explore the dialogue that shapes our faith in the world today. So look for Snarky Faith wherever you listen to podcasts.
Lord have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want.
Hey, heathens, you're listening to the Deadly Faith podcast where religion and crime collide. I'm Lola.
And I'm Lacey.
And this shit is history.
The mind that was in Jesus, that mind is in me.
Without me, life has no meaning.
Why would God tell you what I'm thinking and tell you what I've said to my wife or my husband when you're not around? It's because I'm the pastor of the church and I need to know.
This is the only place where you can see truth.
Okay, let's get into today's history lesson. I'm excited about this one.
Yes. This is a little bit of a cooler. Simmer down, folks. No.
Okay, simmer down.
It's just not as hot and heavy and horrible. Okay. And that made it sound like sex. No,
it did. It did.
It's not as
murderous.
Sharp to the chest. Whatever I'm saying.
There you go. That explains it. We interrupt today's episode to bring you a message from our sponsor, Javy. Say goodbye to chaotic mornings and hello to delicious, convenient coffee. With Javy's coffee concentrate in a variety of flavors, you can whip up your favorite brew in no time. Whether you prefer hot, iced, or even blended coffee, Javy's got you covered, okay? Just a teaspoon of this magic elixir is all you need for a flavorful kickstart to your day. Trust me, once you try it, you'll be hooked. From classic flavors like vanilla and caramel to decadent options like cookies and cream and caramel brulee, Javy literally has something for every coffee lover. As a mom with 3 kids, 2 dogs, 3 bunnies, and 25 chickens, I love how Javy helps me make a delicious iced coffee every morning in under 2 minutes. Seriously, guys, it's just so quick. You just pour it all together, stir it in, and enjoy. My favorite flavor right now is the caramel brulee, but I did just order the cookies and cream along with the decaf so I can enjoy an afternoon or evening coffee without jacking up my sleep schedule. They've got original and they've got even more other flavors to come. They've got mocha as well. You really don't want to miss this. So if you want to save some time each morning and even a little money, or if you just want to try a damn good cup of coffee, try Javy today. Don't wait. Click the link in the show notes and use code LACY33468 at checkout to enjoy 20% off your purchase. Again, click the link in the show notes and use code LACY33468 at checkout. And that is Lacey with an I. Enjoy that 20% off, guys, and back to the show.
Trigger warnings.
Here we go.
Con man?
Okay.
That's really all I got.
That's perfect.
So,
yeah.
I can guarantee that before you die, you'll probably experience a couple of well-dressed men knocking on your door with some pamphlets, trying to proselytize to you.
If not, you probably already have.
Yeah. But did you know that the life of Joseph Smith is the main principle of Mormonism? Because
I didn't know he was a junior.
I didn't either.
Mm-hmm.
And I somehow thought that Joseph Smith Sr. was like a huge part of this equation.
Yeah.
He's like just a side character, really.
Yeah.
He does serve in the church and stuff at a later time, and he's like elected into priesthood, I think, but otherwise, he's not the main dude.
Yeah. I know a little bit about the Mormon history, like just like the Cliff Notes version. And I was explaining it to my sister-in-law the other day, and I kind of went through it, and her face was like, this was like a 30-second, like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And her face was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And I was like, nah, I'm not kidding. Like, this is what happened. And she's like, who believes that? And I'm like,
people.
But also, you read shit in the Bible and you're like, I believed that one day, you know?
I know. And you just take it. Well, and I think I've talked about this before or said this before, but like, you know, when you start reading a book or watching a film and they're like, purple daffodils all across the Sahara. And you're like, okay. You just like go with it.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
even though it doesn't make any sense. Right. Yeah.
You just take it because the writer or the presenter is like displaying such confidence or such like certainty with their like words or behavior that you're like, okay, I fully get that. So I assume that happens.
Yeah.
With this.
And in my opinion, people are very susceptible to religious groups of all shapes and sizes. And that's why people can get brainwashed into cults and religions that are very harmful, because we as a humanity, we do not like living in the unknown. We do not like living in the gray. We want things handed to us on a silver platter, black and white, do's, don'ts. This is what you should do, shouldn't do.
Bullet points. We need it.
Oh, this is what happens after death. This is what I need to do in order to get to this afterlife. Cool. Black and white. There's not this like gray. There's not this mystery. That is what makes us comfortable. And so if a religion is going to tell you, I'm going to hand you the book of black and white on life and what to do and how to have an amazing afterlife, you're going to, people fall into it.
That's for sure.
That's why we're here. We did too.
I know. Cringe. Are you secondhand embarrassed yet?
Absolutely.
So Joseph Smith Jr., he's called a prophet and the restorer of Jesus Christ's teachings. He was born December 23rd, 1805 in Sharon, Vermont.
Wow, that was a long ass time ago.
We're going way back.
I know. 205, was it? No, 220. No. 220 years?
Yeah, something like that.
290.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He is the founder of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, little backstory. His mother, her name is Lucy. Lucy came from a family that believed in Seekerism. I had to look this up. It is a movement that looked for a new revelation to restore true Christianity.
Okay.
Think about the 1800s. What's happening in the 1800s?
Colonization? No, it's pretty much already happened, huh?
I mean, yeah, they're breaking away from the
Britain.
Yeah,
British.
And they're breaking away from that church.
Yeah, the
Catholicism.
There you go. That's the word.
Because the belief is that is not. That's
true.
not the way. That's not
that is
truly
not
what Christ wanted.
Yeah.
So, Seekerism is them kind of like wandering in the desert, so to speak. They're kind of undergoing deconstruction in their own way,
Yeah, I can see that.
So they're just trying to figure it out. And that's what Seekerism is.
Okay.
Kind of cool. But they were a privately religious family that Lucy grew up in. Her family believed in Seekerism. They were like fully into that. Now, Lucy married Joseph Smith Sr.
Okay.
And they were privately religious. They weren't like all in on it.
Okay.
She had her faith and just like kind of kept it with her.
Yeah.
By herself. I don't know. So they moved to, I don't know how to say it, Palmyra. I don't know.
Palmyra
New
sounds
York.
More right. But
It's
I'm
in New
probably
York.
wrong because I pronounce everything wrong.
You know what? I'm just going to say Palmyra.
Okay.
That's how I read it in my head, so whatever.
Okay.
It's in New York. They had to move due to crop failures. So Joseph Smith Jr. was a farmer boy. Farmer Joe.
Okay. Farmer Josh.
But it dried up, got sucky, and he's like, we got to move. So
okay.
When they moved, Lucy started to go back to church. Before, she rarely attended church. Like I said, she just had her faith, kept it to herself.
Yeah.
His father refused to go. Weird. There were a lot of religious differences in the home. So Lucy started to go into a Presbyterian church.
Okay.
Very common. I mean, Presbyterian faith was like the very first like sprout off of
Catholicism.
Yeah, like whatever. So
yeah.
She goes Presbyterian church. Dad stays home. It's a weird dynamic in the homes, like spiritually, because in the community of Palmyra, it was very like religiously charged.
Okay.
It was a huge deal. It like propelled their politics, their societal structure, everything.
Are we
all
talking
around.
about today's age or
back then. 1800. We're talking about 1800. Talking about 1800.
I know. I was kidding. Like, it sounds a lot like today.
I know. It just, you know what? It just continues. It's a never-ending cycle. The blind leading the blind, leading the blind.
Yes. Oh my God. Seriously.
Things I hate it. Well, he was very confused, as you can see. In that community in Palmyra, they had a lot of religious revivals.
Okay.
Very popular for the time.
Were. Yeah.
And he went with his mother to these. He started attending church with her, you know, and he was told, like, he kind of sought out some mentors and was like, I'm confused about what I'm supposed to believe and like what's the true way. I'm not convinced by like any particular subsect of Christianity at this point. And he was told, you know, have faith. Not all things can be understood by man, you know, through God, you know, God's wisdom and everything. His ways are higher than I, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So just a whole bunch of spiritual bypassing.
Oh, yes. Because they didn't have an answer for him, you know? Yep. I don't have the answer either.
Right.
So when he was 14, he read the book of James and he was struck by the passage that stated, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God.
Okay.
You want the wisdom? Ask for it. Ask and you shall receive. So he was just like super struck by that. And he was like, you know what? I lack the wisdom on this and I need to pray for help from God to understand these things. So there are videos on this, by the way. There are recreations of what I'm about to tell you. Okay.
Oh.
We'll link them.
Oh, I'm so intrigued.
Okay. According to his own account, God and Jesus, two different figures, appeared to him alone in the woods. He said he was overcome by spirit. His tongue was bound so he could not speak. A pillar of light spilled down towards him and he saw God and Jesus. Mormons refer to this place in Palmyra as the Sacred Grove.
Oh, okay.
So this is, you can go there now, you know? It's the sacred place. And in answer to his question, you know, what is the right church? What is the right path?
Yeah.
They called him by name and told him that all the churches were wrong.
Oh, shit.
Which is weird. Because if that was what he really believed, why did he not abandon the Presbyterian church he had been with after this revelation?
He didn't.
Joseph, what are you doing? He stayed there 8 years after this incident until he was suspended.
He was suspended?
He was suspended as a member because he wouldn't take communion.
What? Why would he not take communion?
I don't know. I mean,
it's like a weird hill to die on, but okay.
Free food, whatever. That would be my thought. Like,
I am not a cannibal, sir. It's just an analogy. It's okay. Calm down. It's not real lush.
But he was fully convinced, like, this was my experience with God himself and Jesus himself. And he was spreading the word about it. He was telling people about it. He was very open about it. And a local minister that he like told the vision to dismissed it. He said, "You're delusional. That did not happen to you."
See a therapist. I know they don't exist, but you still need to see a therapist.
Yeah. This is blasphemy, pretty much. Like, you don't need to be saying these types of things out loud.
Yeah.
They'll burn you at the stake. We do that still. So
those are inside thoughts.
I know. But Smith, like, he still continued to believe in this authenticity, Mr. Joseph Smith.
Oh my gosh.
And guess what? His dad, the one that didn't go to church, he held the same sentiment as his son. He was like, my son has seen a heavenly vision. We cannot ignore this.
Oh man, daddy's crazy too.
I know. I think dad was looking for something to latch on to, like ride the coattails of somebody. And happened to work out in this scenario. I don't know. That's my speculation.
It is always crazy to me how many, it's not all, but like how many cults or religious groups are started because they either got kicked out of the church that they were in or the denomination that they were in, or they didn't get like a promotion, or they got passed up for like the pastoral position. So they're like, fuck it, I'm just going to go start my own thing. It happens all the time. It's crazy. So Joseph's on the same train as this.
It kind of goes that way. I mean, yeah, it does go that way. It just snakes around a little bit first.
Yeah.
So in 1823, he received another revelation while praying for forgiveness. I don't know what he was praying for forgiveness for, but he reported that an angel that called himself Moroni appeared in his bedroom and told him about a set of golden plates containing a record of the ancient inhabitants of America.
Okay.
And like it had
Cool
a lot
dream.
had a lot of spiritual content to it. It had a lot of like directional content that he was like, you need to know about this. So whatever. Joseph found the plates buried in a stone box not far from his father's farm. How convenient.
Oh my gosh. They were just right there. They were calling to him.
Didn't even have to walk far. I mean, you're right there.
It's a miracle.
Well, the plates had that ancient writing on them, but they thought there might be more to this. Is this the only thing there? And they started seeking out greater treasures alongside it. They were like, is there maybe gold or something with this? Or I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything more.
Okay.
So in Joseph's own account, he and his father said that they hired a man in the area named Josiah Stoll. This gentleman had an old map for Spanish treasure hunting.
Oh my gosh, they're becoming treasure hunters. I did not see this.
Listen, it's so stupid, okay? So this guy had like heard of the Smith family, and he was like, they're hard workers, like they seem like genuine people, they're churchgoers, whatever. So, and then he also heard that Joseph had supernatural gifts, and he was like, you know what, we might be able to find something together on this, you know?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So Lucy, Joseph Smith's mother, said that they worked for a month without success.
Like
and
digging for treasure?
Yeah. Just
okay.
like searching around, digging, all that stuff.
Okay.
So Josiah convinced his employers, to give up the search.
Okay.
So they didn't discover buried treasure on their little side quest. This is very Skyrim of them.
Yeah, very much so.
But Joseph Smith Jr. did find his greatest treasure, his wife.
Oh.
So sweet.
Really?
Kind of. Whatever. Yeah, while living with the neighbor of Josiah, his name was Isaac Hales. I guess he wanted to live close by for part of this treasure hunting thing. I don't know. But he was living with Isaac Hales. He met and married his oldest daughter, a dark-haired beauty named Emma.
So he married whose oldest daughter?
So the Smiths hired Josiah to help them figure it out. Josiah's neighbor was Isaac Hales. So he lived with Isaac, and Isaac's oldest daughter was Emma. And Emma became Joseph Smith Jr.'s wife.
Okay.
Twist about. Very weird. So meanwhile, when he's like falling in love and stuff, Joseph is sued under a complaint brought by Josiah's nephew.
Oh.
Charging that he had cheated his uncle.
Okay.
He was taken to court and found guilty of being a con artist and an imposter.
Wait, how did he con him?
By, I guess, he didn't pay him everything that he owed him for the treasure hunting and stuff. And he had promised him, like, once we find something, it's on,
So were they using this map for the treasure hunting, or was Joseph Smith being like, I'm a seer and I can tell you where to dig? It was
a little bit of both. It was a little bit of both. He was trying to tap into that supernatural gift and then also follow that man's treasure guide.
Yeah.
I don't know how credible that was either.
I'm sure it was not credible at all, because what the fuck?
I don't know. In Palmyra, New York, you're thinking you're going to use a treasure map to find treasure. I don't know.
Yeah. When it's like, it's in the 1800s, like.
I guess anything's believable back then.
I guess, yeah, that's true. I don't know. How far off from the coast are we? Because like most treasures are going to be hidden or
That's
buried.
what I'm thinking too.
Pretty much like, I would say within like 30 miles of a beach. Because I can't imagine pirates.
That's what I was thinking. Like, this is such an odd place.
I would say even less than 30 miles. Like, you got to think, pirates getting off their ships with their treasure, they ain't going to be walking 30 miles for that. I'd say a mile at the most.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not a pirate, so who fucking knows?
I was just going to say, I got nothing on pirate lore, but
no.
He was found guilty.
Okay.
4 years later, an angel, that same one, Moroni, comes back to Joseph Smith Jr. and
I think she has a crush on him.
I guess so. Permits him to remove those brass plates, gold plates, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And says you need to translate the characters that are engraved on it with the aid of special stones called interpreters.
Rocks.
You need to use rocks.
Okay.
To define words.
Alrighty then.
So, he doesn't also say what ancient language this is. In case you're wondering, what's the ancient language that's inscribed on the stones?
Mm-hmm.
Good question, because we don't have those stones.
Have we
I'll get
ever
to that later?
Okay. I was going to ask
some later.
questions. Okay.
So he uses interpreters, rocks. And he insists that he did not compose this writing under just translation, but also by divine guidance, completing the work in less than 90 days and published it March of 1830 as a 588-page volume called the Book of Mormon.
I don't have any words. Except I hope he painted like pictures on the rocks of like people. So it's at least like in his head, people are telling him what to write.
That would be funny. Well, where are the stones? Where are the brass plates? Where is it?
I'd love to see them.
He claims that same angel simply came back and reclaimed them from him when he was finished.
So fucking convenient.
No one has seen these. No one. His father, Josiah, nobody. Emma, nobody.
But 90 days. It took him 90 days to translate, and I'm using air quotes, right? Yeah. Translate these brass plates or whatever. And his dad didn't see them in 90 days.
That's what I'm thinking. And if
he wasn't like, oh my God, Dad, look at these. Holy shit.
Got 588 pages worth of shit. Like, you'd think that something would come up where you'd see them.
Yeah, there's got to be some big ass fucking plates, or
that's what I'm thinking.
A lot of plates, or very tiny writing.
Part of me is like imagining Moses with the 2 tablets, you know?
I know.
Like,
and you can't, it just looks like just a hubbubaloo because you have to like zoom in so close to even make out. It's like on the Santa Claus when he's like, when he tried in Santa Claus 2, when he's trying to get Santa Claus to read the clause on you know, and he pulls out the magnifying glass. He's like, can you see it? He's like, no. And he pulls out a bigger magnifying glass. Yes. You see it? No. And he pulls out a bigger one. And then he pulls out this like ginormous one for him to read it.
So good.
That's what I feel like this would need.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, I will say this. You cannot truly be Mormon unless you fully believe in these stones in ancient script are the true gospel, and that Joseph Smith Jr. truly was a prophet and seer. That is just a fact across the board.
Yeah. And you have to put all of your faith in one man. Like, you believe that God,
who has already been convicted before 1830 of being a con man.
Yeah.
Well, so he married Emma Hale. 1827 is when they got married. He was 21 years old. She was 22. They adopted twins. Huh.
There's adoption back then? Holy shit.
I guess so.
I didn't know that.
I mean, cool. But they also had 9 biological children. But
damn.
5 of them, unfortunately, did die in infancy. I'm not sure exactly what that means, if they died when they were just younger or if they died as babies.
They probably didn't even... this is me completely guessing.
Or died in the womb? I'm not sure.
My guess is they died after birth, but before like the age of 1 or 2.
Okay. Yeah, that's
my guess. Yeah.
So very sad. But not only that, that's hard on the marriage, but their devotion to each other was tried. It was tried by the practice of polygamy.
God. Mm.
Yeah. So Emma believed in her husband's calling, but she could not deal with additional wives. She was not ready to share him. She remained faithful to him till the end, fully there with him. And after his death, wore a lock of his hair on her person.
What? What the fuck?
Don't know why. That's weird.
What the actual fuck? Tyler, I love you so much. I'm not going to wear a fucking lock of your hair if you died. I'm sorry. That's so weird.
I don't know. Part of me is like, I guess I can kind of like a keepsake thing that you do for like pets, but like, I don't know.
On your person though?
On your person is a little odd. So
like I know this is the 1800s, but like I know people like get cremated and put you in a little necklace and like, but.
Well, it seems a little bit like witchery in a way. I'm surprised that she would do that with her strong Mormon beliefs, but.
Yeah. And the chance of being burned at the stake. Girl, we in the 1800s.
I know. You can't fuck with that, man.
No.
Well, in total, he had 28 wives.
Oh my God.
Aside from her.
Wow.
So,
horny little bastard.
I don't know how he did that, even though she was like adamantly against this. I'm not sure how that worked, but we know that he did have multiple wives.
I'm pretty sure the Mormon religion is very much like the husband is the head of the household. Like,
yes,
is what I would think.
Is.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. So like fundamentalist Christian. So it doesn't really matter if you're for it or against it. It doesn't, like, the husband's, what he says goes, and he's the prophet. So like, how are you going to argue with the prophet, or person of God?
Yeah. Let's talk about starting the church.
Okay, here we go.
We got the book. Now we got to build a community. So April 6th of 1830, Joseph organized a few dozen believers into a church. Weirdly enough, it was first called the Church of Christ.
Oh my gosh.
Not to be confused with today's Church of Christ.
Yeah.
Not the same.
No.
From then on, his great project was to gather people into settlements called Cities of Zion. That's very cult forward of you.
It very much is.
Where they would find refuge from the calamities of the last days.
It's always the last days.
Always. It's funny. I'm still waiting on them. Waiting on them.
Yeah.
Male converts were ordained and sent out to make more converts, like a missionary program kind of thing.
Okay.
Members of the church were known as saints. And they gathered at the first settlement in Independence, Missouri, on the western edge of the American settlement.
Okay.
When other settlers found their presence intolerable, the saints were forced to move to other counties in the state.
They said, get the fuck out of here.
And in the same time, Joseph moved his family to another gathering place in Kirtland, Ohio, which is near Cleveland.
Okay. Do we know why the locals were like, get out. We don't want you here. You're intolerable.
They were extremely aggressive with the converts, like trying to really push, like, this is the word, this is it.
Mm-hmm. Come to our religion. Gotcha. Okay.
In an already really religiously charged area that they may settle in, it's going to cause conflict with whoever else is there.
Absolutely.
Which is often what they would do. So,
yeah.
None of the community survived. At all. None of them.
What? Like they all died?
No, like it wasn't working. It wasn't working.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my God, they died.
No, they didn't die. Sorry. No, none of the religious communities survived that he was trying to set up. Because the faithful were expelled as soon as their numbers increased, and it threatened to get them political control of the area where they settled. So that was a huge issue with them trying to convert everyone, is like, you get enough of them, they get power in that place. So, well, all this happens. Guess what? Joseph flees for far west Missouri because it's 1838 and he's a runner. He is. I tell you.
He's a little bitch baby.
But, and he had He had many followers, yes, but he was no saint. I have a list of all his recorded crimes. I'm going way back from the get-go, though. So,
Okay.
New York in 1817, at the age of 20, he was described in court records as Joseph the Glasslooker, and he faced his first criminal charge, a misdemeanor in court, of being a disorderly person. Disorderly person can mean different things back then than what it means now. But basically, what I draw from it back then is it can mean loitering, drunkenness, loud threats, whatever, nudity.
Okay.
Things like that. So it's a plethora of things. So I don't have specifics on what he did.
Right. And had he... No. He hadn't started the church yet, so never mind.
No.
Okay. Keep going.
No, he was 20. He hadn't even married yet.
Okay.
March of 1826 in Bainbridge, New York. That was the complaint of Josiah's nephew, who accused him of being an imposter.
Gotcha.
And he was convicted of that. June of 1830 in New York, he was charged with disorderly conduct again, but he was acquitted. 1831 through 1838, he faced several charges for fraudulent banking, and that's when he fled to Ohio. April of 1835, he was charged with assaulting his brother-in-law.
Oh my gosh.
June of 1837, he was charged with conspiracy to commit murder regarding Grandison Newell, a professed antagonist to the Latter-day Saints.
Oh. All
and
right,
especially
then.
its president in particular. He was coming for Joseph Smith's throat.
Yeah. I can't blame him.
Yeah. So Smith seemed, this is what was quoted in documents, Joseph Smith seemed much excited and declared that Newell should be put out of the way or where the crows could not find him. He said destroying Newell would be justifiable in the sight of God, that it was the will of God. The charges were dismissed.
The charges were dismissed?
I mean, that's a pretty, pointed statement, that you're gonna try to kill this person for, saying, hey, what you do ain't right.
And then saying, it was God's will. God's okay if I take this guy out.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
Blasphemy. I don't know how he got away with some of these statements back then.
Yeah.
Whoa. So, August 1838, a lot of things happened in 1838, I'm going to be honest, with the whole fleeing and stuff. And I don't know. So August 1838, he brought his followers armed to the teeth to the home of Adam Black, who was Justice of the Peace.
Oh, shit.
Because he was also speaking against them, saying hey, y'all need to tone it down.
Mm-hmm.
Tone it down with the converts and all the things that you're promoting. It's just not, it's not the vibe here. Can we not?
Because they're openly promoting, I'm assuming, polygamy, correct?
We'll get to that later because it's a little, okay. We'll get to that a little bit later.
I'm just wondering, is that another reason why all these people were so upset with them?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a role with it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because there were rumors of polygamy, and it was
so it was just
a problem.
Rumors, but yeah.
Like I said, I'll get to it later. It makes sense later.
Sorry. My bad.
So November of 1838, he was charged with treason against the state of Illinois.
Treason?
For going to Adam Black's house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
You don't come armed to the teeth.
Not
to the
with the
justice of the peace.
Jeez, dude.
This is not right. So
just asking for trouble.
In 1838, he faced expulsion for the third time, and he tried to defend the church with arms. So this is in Missouri. This is happening. His settlement there.
Gosh.
He rose up in wrath. The governor ordered all the Mormons to be driven out of the state.
He's like, pack them up, ship them out.
Not really possible, but he was ordering it to happen. So in November, Joseph was imprisoned on charges of robbery, arson, and treason, and also accused of threatening the life of a public official. And he probably would have been executed had he not escaped and fled again to Illinois.
So this is when he fled?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That rap sheet. He's
a
how
lot.
old at this point? In his 30s?
He's in his 30s, yeah.
Dude.
So the Mormons come together in a nearly abandoned town of Commerce on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River.
Okay.
The site is renamed by them as Nauvoo, which is a Hebrew word meaning beautiful place. This was the most successful settlement that he ever established, complete with a temple on a bluff overlooking the town. And it attracted a lot of converts from Europe, really all around, but from Europe too.
Yeah.
And it grew as a rival to Chicago as the largest city in the state.
Oh.
Nauvoo rivaled Chicago. You never heard of it, have you? Nauvoo?
No, absolutely not. Never.
Well, at that time, it rivaled Chicago. So, church membership is growing. Oh, by the way, anytime that he has bail set, guess who pays for it?
The church. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have seen that coming.
Yep. Well, church membership is growing. It's estimated 100,000. And Joseph has become mayor of Nauvoo.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Background checks, anyone? Just kidding. We're in the 1800s. I have to keep reminding myself. We're in the 1800s.
I know. Well, he formed his own militia.
Oh my God.
And media is catching wind of everything that's happening, obviously. And they're also hearing rumors, little sprinkles, that there is polyamory amongst them. So papers started getting released with these rumors. You know, people were printing the truth.
The
media. Well, in retaliation, because you know Joseph Smith, he's one to retaliate, ain't he? He sent his little militia to the printing press to destroy it. Publishers fled for their lives, and the governor of Illinois ordered Joseph to turn himself in. So this was when the whole treason of the state of Illinois happened.
Okay.
In 1839, finally we've left 1838. God.
Yeah.
1839.
What a year.
He was released on bail from Illinois and fled to Missouri. This man, he runs. I told you he runs. He does.
He likes to flee.
And he was later arrested there as being a fugitive. He, in 1842, was charged with conspiracy to murder the governor of Missouri and treason against the state of Missouri. You gotta stop naming people that you want to kill. Keep it to yourself. Don't let the intrusive thoughts win. A lot would fly in the 1800s, okay? A lot would fly, especially with a white man.
And I know this is right. A white man. It's just like you have followers right now that are seeing all of this happen.
No one should forget that followers are still with him. They're still thinking that he is the prophet and seer. So yes.
And part of me is were they ignoring all of this? It doesn't matter.
I thought it was justified.
It's a witch hunt. Yeah, this is a witch hunt. He's just doing God's will, and it's giving me Trump followers. Those massive Trump followers that don't give a shit about all his felonies and his charges. And it's guys.
Well, the big thing with any type of Christianity is the whole, we will be persecuted.
Yeah.
And we will be persecuted by our own government at the expense of our religious views. So the same thing is true, whether it's today or the 1800s. It's the same battle that they're fighting.
Within so many denominations.
It's not just Mormons.
No.
It's not.
It's all of, I don't say all of them, but it's a huge majority.
I'd wager. I'd wager all of them. We're at the last charge here.
Okay.
So this is 1843 to 44, charged with inciting a riot, polygamy, fornication, and perjury.
Oh, those are some bigger ones.
Yeah,
well,
so Joseph...
Murder was pretty good. Pretty big.
Joseph was charged with inciting a riot, fornication, polygamy, and conspiring to murder Governor Boggs of Missouri. He was being tried for treason in 1844, but before trial, he was killed by a gunshot wound during a mob raid. So Joseph Smith Jr. was killed. His last words were, "Oh, Lord, my God." Someone yelled, "He's leapt from the window," and the mob ran back down the stairs where Joseph was fatally shot at the age of 38.
Oh, my God. I did not know that.
Yeah, he was very young when he passed.
Wow.
Very young.
And he was killed by a mob.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you incited the riot, boy.
Yeah, I know.
So
You're playing with fire.
Mormons equate Joseph Smith to Jesus Christ, noting that the blood spilt in his death was holy just as Christ was crucified.
Oh, my gosh.
Y'all need to see Lacey holding her head. She can't handle it.
I have to leave.
The history books won't tell you this shit.
Oh, my gosh.
At least not all the itty bitty details. In 1860, Mormons reformed their name to Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's a mouthful.
As I said, that's long as hell.
Well, they needed a new leader, right? So the group selected Joseph Smith Jr.'s son to be the leader. They rejected the idea that Joseph Smith Jr. was ever polygamous at all. They say, we do not believe in plural marriage, period. But based on a lot of his sermons, this doesn't hold up in court, folks.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So basically, they're just trying to get away with it or like do
Pretty
away
much.
with it and be like, oh, that was not our history because it's what got him killed or one of the things that got him killed, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In 1920, official headquarters for the church were established in Independence, Missouri. So that really nice settlement he had set up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where they believe that Christ's return will occur in Missouri. In 2001, they came up with a new name called Community of Christ, but a lot of us just know them as LDS. And in the U.S., the LDS Church is the fourth largest denomination with over 6.5 million members. And one of you might be listening to this. And let me just say, if you believe that this criminal and con man is your leader, you take a look inside. Do some critical thinking.
There are so many, like I can hold space for so many religions, like so many, and be like, if that's what you want to believe. Yeah. Like if you want to believe that, that's great. Okay, cool. I'll hold space for you. And if you tell me you're Mormon, I will treat you the same and I will be nice to you. But there's
no proof of this at all. The plates, nothing. This was a man, he was extremely young. His brain wasn't even fully developed by the time that he was like creating these settlements and writing this information down. And
I've talked to people like one-on-one who left the Mormon church.
Mm-hmm.
And so one time when I was in the beginnings of my deconstruction, I was meeting a girl that I'd met on TikTok. We were meeting in person to have coffee. As I went like waiting for my coffee, this woman was like, "Are you here for the like ex-Mormon meetup?" And I was like, "Oh my God, no, but I'm also here meeting somebody who's deconstructed and like different denomination." But yeah. And me and her got talking for a minute and she said that going through a divorce was 10 times easier than deconstructing her faith.
Oh man.
And I think that's like why it frustrates me so much with this religion specifically is because you're not taught any of this history. And so when you do like start to question things and then you find out all of this, it crumbles your faith for so many people. And then you have to walk through deconstruction, which is not an easy thing to do. So I think that's like what's really hard for me with this religion is it's like, I don't see who sees all of that and goes, yeah, I believe this. It happens. I know it does. But what the fuck?
What a history lesson.
Yeah.
I had no idea anything about the Mormon culture so I just started listening to the audiobook. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy.
I have that on my wish list.
It's excellent. I'm only on like chapter 10, I think, 10 or 11. and it's got like 60 chapters to it.
Oh, wow.
And it's amazing. And she talks about a little bit about growing up in church. It's all from like her perspective and not so much to do with like the beliefs, but I can see like little
things,
glimmers of what they're teaching her.
So she grew up Mormon.
Yeah, she was full LDS. Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I have done, so before, when I was like first married, this was like a first 5 years, 5 years of our marriage or so. I had started doing photography. And so my bread and butter was weddings. I loved weddings. Yeah. Weddings were my thing. And a lot of the times, Tyler was my second shooter. So we would go on the weekends and he would shoot right alongside me. And usually every weekend for the summers, we had a wedding going on.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time frame that I was in business, I did I think I've done 4 Mormon weddings.
Really?
And, yeah. And
are they different than like, I guess what I would see at a normal Christian wedding?
Oh, absolutely. Especially if they get married in the temple. So if they get married in the temple, only like, I don't know how, like, I'm going to say certified. I'm sure that's the wrong word, but like certified Mormons, like you are a part of the church.
You're only allowed in there if you're a member.
Yeah. And so they wanted pictures.
What if you want to become a member?
It's a whole long process, I think. I don't know. But we would have to stand and wait outside the temple, and we couldn't go inside. And then we would have to wait for the ceremony to be done. And also, I don't think there's actual like pictures allowed inside the temple. I don't think people actually have like. I think that's the thing. I can't remember. But yeah, then they would come out and we would do pictures on the outside. And then they'd usually like have a reception and we could go to the reception. But ceremony wise, vastly different because you can't go inside. And usually the ceremony for a Mormon wedding, you wear these like specific gowns. Like you don't even get to wear your wedding dress in the ceremony. You wear this like weird Mormon gown. So does the spouse.
Yeah. Okay.
And you go through this whole like wedding ceremony, and I know. At one point, I know that it was years ago, and I talked to somebody we met on TikTok, and she's an ex-Mormon, and her mom had told her, I think it was when you got married. Either you got married or you like came of age or something like that. You had to like go through the Mormon temple. And at one point you had to strip down naked. And yes. And this girl was like freaking out. And then like she went through the whole thing, but she didn't have to get naked. And so she was like, Mom, what the hell are you talking about? And her mom's like, oh my God, they must have changed the rules since I, went through.
What is happening?
But apparently like you had to get naked in front of like your elder person. I don't know. It was so weird. I was like, what the fuck? We should probably look into that and I'm sure there's cases on it.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Fucking crazy. It's wild. Oh my gosh.
I know there's so much more to like the whole LDS like culture and like, and you have a case.
Yes. I'm going to cover, it's going to be a little while, but I am going to cover the raid at the FLDS compound raid that was in Texas. This was in like 2010, 2008, 2009, something like that is when it happened. I'm going to cover that. I was there for that. So.
Oh, yes. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm going to cover that one. But with Mormon, I do know there's like so many offshoots of Mormonism.
That's why it's very hard. Like I was going to go into like the beliefs that are held by, I guess, the majority of Mormons, but it's hard to pin down because some of them like are extremely like, no, polygamy is not like just how I was saying before. But then others, I mean, guys, we've all seen the Sister Wives. Like we know some of you do subscribe to that,
Yeah.
Whether it be on paper or not.
Are they Mormon?
Yes.
The Sister Wives? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, and that's like the FLDS, like a lot of these were like just offshoots of like, well, we want to still practice polygamy. So we're going to do our own thing because we don't want to continue to only have one wife.
But then there's other like it's like a milder version of Mormon that like comes closer to the line of just traditional Christianity. Like if you walk into a Baptist church in Alabama, it would look similar.
So many people try to be like, Mormons aren't Christians. I'm like, yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
They are. They're part of the Christian denomination.
Just like how you'd say, oh, those are the Baptists. Those are the Presbyterians. Those are the, it's the same thing.
It's the same. They're still
hold the same core beliefs that like, Jesus Christ was the Messiah and God is the Father, and that they are two different entities.
I am looking up, do you know the Branch Davidians?
No.
Okay,
no,
so,
I don't think so.
do you remember Waco? The siege at Waco? Okay, so those were the Branch Davidians. And I am trying to remember. Why have I not heard
that title before?
Because
is that another like subsect?
I'm Googling it right now. Branch of Mormon. Sorry guys, I'm like doing this in real time. They were a shoot off of something, and I cannot remember if it was Mormonism.
I was just going to tell our listeners real quick. Thank you guys for sending us messages through Instagram. We've gotten a couple really nice ones to come through, and that has been awesome. And we love connecting with y'all. So I just wanted to say that.
Yes, thank you.
In the middle of her Googling, because it's been awesome getting to speak with you guys and hear like your story and about how we had someone message us the other day saying like they are such a blended family that they all have kind of different
faiths
that they subscribe to, and it all works like in harmony, and it works alongside LGBTQIA plus values, and it was amazing to be able to hear that person's story. So thank you for writing in, and I check our messages religiously. That's really my only religion now.
Yeah, she really does. She keeps me on track with it. So
yeah, if you have something specific that you just want to talk to Lacey about too, I will notify her.
Yeah, because I am horrible with messages. FYI, sorry. No, okay, they were a branch off of Seventh-day Adventist.
What is I don't even know what that is. Is that?
They are somewhat, from what I've heard, I got to look more into it, but I think they have similarities within like cultural type stuff, but their theological beliefs are pretty different. They both kind of emerged during what is considered the Second Great Awakening. And I think that's what you were referencing of like them trying to get away from Catholicism. And so they kind of just both came up in the same amount of time. And then the Branch Davidians came out were a shoot off of, it's just like a horrible game of like tree. Ancestry, religious ancestry.
We need to do another one of these like history things,
Yeah.
Which I mean, yours will partially go into some history too.
Mine will. I'll go into it a little bit because you kind of have to with him. But I am. So the Waco one, I have that one on my list, and I will be covering that one in a couple months, because that one is so fucking interesting to me, because it was the catalyst to so many other cases, and I don't want to give too much away.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
But it's literally like a domino effect of different things, which they all aren't like religious true crimes, but it's pretty insane.
Still was propelled forward by this one.
It caused this, and then this caused this, and I'll get into it at the end of the episode. I won't leave you hanging on any of it, but it's pretty.
Well, I'm excited to hear that.
Fucking crazy, but I'll go into the history of the Branch Davidians a little bit. Yeah, in that one too. Yeah, I like the history of them. It's so cool. Yeah.
Are you ready for palate cleansers? Because it's that time.
I am ready for a palate cleanser. I don't know why I sing everything.
Okay. I'm here for it.
I know, right? I do it all the time. Okay, so mine literally happened like 10 minutes before I jumped on recording with Lola. We were on the phone, and then we got off, and we had like 10 minutes before we jumped on like the computer for recording, and this literally happened right in between those times. So we're in the bathroom, and my youngest, who's 4, about to turn 5, she put toothpaste on her toothbrush and she got way too much. So she scraped off some of the toothpaste with her finger. And then she had her finger under the faucet, like water. And she was trying to wash it off, but it was her middle finger. So she had her middle finger up like she was flipping you off, but she like had it underneath the water. And so my husband like secretly like nudged me like, you know, like, oh, look at that. Yeah, it's funny. And I was like, oh, and Lily, my oldest, was sitting there and she like, she knows, she picks things up at school. Yeah. And so she's like, what? And she like, my youngest had already stopped and she was like, what finger was it? And I was like, it's the one you're thinking of. And so my oldest is like making a huge deal about this. And she's, I mean, it's the funniest thing since anything in her life. She's laughing so hard. And she's laughing so hard, it gets my toddler or my 4-year-old to be like, oh, what I did was funny. And so she goes, what are you talking about? And she like flips my 10-year-old. My 9-year-old, she flips her off and goes, I did it again. And God. We're all laughing at this point. Yeah. I swear to you, she flipped Lily off a good 8 times because we all were just like laughing. And I was like, there's no controlling this. So now pick your battles. 4-year-old knows that flipping off is funny. And so I'm just waiting for the next.
Have fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really hilarious at the next family gathering. And she's going to be like, just whipping it out at random times. And people are going to be like,
you know what?
What the hell?
The first time I see her, if she doesn't flip me off, I will be sad.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I found a crochet picture. It was like a crocheted blanket and they used some kind of stitch and it looks like you're flipping somebody off. The stitch and so putting them all side by side and like all the rows looks like a blanket of hands just flipping you off. And I'm like, I need this.
The ultimate revenge blanket.
I know. And I got to figure out. There was a couple suggestions on like what they thought the stitch was. And I was like, I got to try this out because it's pretty fucking hilarious.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. What's your palate cleanser?
You already know it.
Earlier I do. Sorry. I forgot.
Earlier this week, so Andrew took me on a date. He was like, let's go treat you. You deserve it.
It was Monday.
Okay, yeah. So we went to a craft store after we went to eat. And
Perfect.
I was looking at all the different like wall art. And we were trying to pick something for our bathroom because I redid our bathroom today and I wanted something nice to hang up in there. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking and I find all these like cute animal ones where they're like dressed all dapper. I don't know. And so we're flipping through them and then I'm like, look at this cow and look at this goat and look at this alcapalca. And Andrew, he was hardly looking. And then he just snaps his head to me and he's like, the what? The alcapalca? And it's an oh God.
I'm not going to help you.
Alpaca? Oh my God, no. Alpaca.
No.
Alcapalca. Oh my God. Oh my God. Alpaca.
There you go.
I had to spell it in my head. Oh my God. Alpaca. Alpaca. Mm.
Oh my God. I'm crying.
So you can now make fun of me for not being able to say that word because I always make fun of you.
Yeah, you do.
So now anytime that we see an alpaca and an alpaca and an alpine tree, anytime we see this animal, whatever. He just later that night too. So like he tucked me in and he went to go play video games with his friends. And then he texted me alcapalca. So
I get a text, which I needed it. If you follow on social media, my bathroom is completely like gutted almost right now. Mm-hmm. Not completely, but you know, yeah, that's a story. Anyways, she texts me and goes, I just mispronounced a word and Andrew won't let it go. So I was like, oh my God, what was it? And she sends me a voice memo of her saying alpaca. And I just hysterically started laughing.
It was bad.
It was pretty funny.
It was worse that day, I think.
I don't know. That was pretty funny. You struggling to figure out how to say alpaca.
I had to think about it.
I said it wrong too. Alpaca. Did you? I did. I said alpaca. Now I can't say it wrong.
Alpaca.
Alpaca.
All right. Well, I hope that we have fucked up that word in your head and that
Forever.
you won't be able to think of it any other way. So
anyway, yep.
Thanks so much.
Anyways, that is the episode. You guys, as always, drink water, go touch grass, wipe your ass, and don't be an ass, okay? And as always,
stay safe, stay skeptical,
and steer clear of the cultish carousel. Bye. Also, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, like, subscribe, do all the things like always because we love you. You love us. And this is a great bond that we want to keep together forever. Check out our Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get access to our private Potty Podcast episode where Lola and I shoot the shit and tell stories and talk about random stuff, which is also super fun. We also have merch linked below, so get access to that. We always have new stuff coming out. And as always, there are links in the show notes for if you are in need of any kind of crisis care. There's always those phone numbers and links down below. Check it out. And we love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.